reputation early was arrogant, condescending, loudmouth, abrasive, brash. I mean, you can use any other like obtuse adjective that you want to throw on it, but I was pretty much like sandpaper.
Welcome back everyone, and hello if you're new. My name is Supakupo. So I'm not too good at making intros, but I just want to dive right into this video here. Today we'll be talking about G4 again and kind of give some updates on what's been going on. And I wanted to dive into Froskurinn. Froskurinn? I like Froskurinn. So like most people, I didn't even know who Froskurinn was before the whole G4 thing happened. I really wanted to dig into her past to kind of see where she came from and what she's about, and kind of why she acts the way she does, I guess you could say. But before we get into Froskurinn, there is some stuff going on with G4's TV Vice President Blair Herter, I think his name is. Yeah, I think we all knew there'd be never any drama with G4, unfortunately. Okay, so I pulled up Bounding into Comics article about the G4 vice president. And so here he's telling people to not watch G4 after the whole Frost debacle. G4TV's senior vice president, Blair Herter, who was previously a host on the network's Attack of the Show and X-Play programs, told gamers to not watch G4 following Frost's now infamous rant about sexism in gaming. Okay, so here's Blair's tweet. Grateful to spend my life with a woman who smashed glass ceilings. Honored to work with the women of G4's past and humans like I almost said foreskin. Humans like Froskurinn today. Proud to work at a place that makes stuff like this. If you don't hear the below, unfollow me and don't watch us. We are not for you. You know what? This kind of sounds like something similar that happened, it was a few years ago, I think it was. Oh, what game was it? Ah, yes. Battlefield. Electronic Arts, EA, did the same thing in regards to Battlefield 5 when their then Chief Creative Officer Patrick Sutherland told fans not to buy the game. He stated, "And we don't take any flack. We stand up for the cause because I think those people who don't understand it, well, you have two choices. Either accept it or don't buy the game. I'm fine with either or. It's just not okay." Oh, and it also says Sunderland then insulted gamers, describing them as uneducated. Oh boy, that's a big mess up. So yeah, I thought this did sound familiar. And if I remember correctly, the sales did horribly after that. EA CEO Andrew Wilson would admit during the company's 2019 Q3 financial call that the game's sales were poor. Yeah, that sounds about right. So now I feel kind of silly because in my last video I said that I had high hopes for G4, and I don't think that's just gonna work out. And I also kind of see why a person like Froskurinn exists on that show. G4 had its time, and a lot has changed since it was on TV. I mean, it seems like they're trying to make a lot of changes too to kind of keep up with today's audience, but it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot. Another weird thing is now I'm hearing that they're faking their viewership, or like their numbers are not accurate.
As you can see, pretty consistent views here, and if we go on over to their Twitch channel, it is a very different story. Their view count is all over the place. You would expect for a chat with 30,000 people, it would be moving faster than this. It's not crazy to assume that their view botting is this controversy that happened back in 2018.
I don't know how you can fake viewers, but that's kind of pathetic. Apparently someone exposed them for like their live streams and the amount of subscribers they have and their view count, and it's just like nothing matches up. So yeah, if this is the foot we want to start on G4, there's really no future here for you. But anyways, I wanted to talk more about Froskurinn. When I went to go research Froskurinn, I noticed she has her own website, like froskurinn.com or something, and it has a little bit about her casting career and being a female and this and that, and you know, I thought it was pretty interesting. I went deeper into her past and I saw her during her League of Legends days and when she started casting and stuff, and she looked so different back then. Froskurinn's name is Indiana Black, but actually her real name is Ryan Moore. I mean, I don't normally put out people's personal stuff, but that's a public thing known because she used her name like that before. So yeah. So the girl's definitely come a long way. And it said that she is from Portland, Oregon. Yeah, that kind of explains a lot.
Jesus, I shot myself! Ugh, I shot myself! Back up, back
Stupid
up!
gun.
But from what I gathered, she's big on League of Legends and her sense of fashion and being a woman in casting. So I came across this video here.
I'm Indiana Froskurinn Black. I work as a League of Legends color commentator for Riot's English broadcast. I actually never really wanted to be a caster. It actually kind of just happened out of happenstance. The theory of just talking about a game, yes, absolutely love it. The idea of being a personality, being a persona, getting in front of a camera, and front facing to the community, not really my cup of tea.
Oh, really?
My reputation early was arrogant, condescending, loudmouth, abrasive, brash. I mean, you can use any other obtuse adjective that you want to throw into it. I was pretty much like sandpaper. Shoutcasting, one of the most important tools that you can learn is how to take criticism and how to take critique, because it's the best way that you're going to get good. Is you have to take in as much feedback as possible and then.
Okay, wait.
And to cut off the community.
Did she forget about all this or something?
Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script for, but I'll be the one flamed.
It's like, I don't know.
That you can learn is how to take criticism and how to take critique, because it's
Yeah, that's
the
what I
best
thought
way
she
to
said.
To get good is you have to take in as much feedback as possible and then retro on it as quickly as possible.
Does she not remember any of this? Like,
if you take in as much feedback and resources as possible, you're going to grow as quickly as possible. Like, again, I'm 100 to 0 on everything. If I start something, I don't go half-ass, I go all the way through it. So it's very similar in the type of feedback and critique. I'm a very critical person, and I take criticism to that same extreme.
So what happens if you get the same criticism over and over again? Are you do you field it still, or how do you deal with the repetitive feedback?
It really depends. I mean, sometimes it honestly just is true.
And that I'll receive special flame just for being a woman.
You know, she talks about taking criticism, and from what I read online, that's her biggest issue. She can't take criticism. So when I started looking into Froskurinn, I was wondering why she had so much hate even before the whole G4 thing. And apparently she has a bad attitude is what people say. So Froskurinn did get a lot of criticism starting out in her casting, and she would say it was because she was female or her sexuality, how she looked, different things like that. So no, she didn't really take criticism very well. It was always because of something. But on the flip side of things, she did actually have a lot of fans that supported her. So while she was complaining about how people were treating her, she still had, I would say, way more support than hate. But like I said, she had fans and she had haters. And when she says that she received some harassment in certain things, it's not far from the truth. She did. Even as far back as several years ago, you can see in certain videos, there are people that did kind of objectify her. And I'm not saying it's okay. That's kind of part of the internet, unfortunately. But that's why you have to grow thick skin if you want to be a caster or an internet personality. So like I said, I did do some digging on Froskurinn, and I kind of found some maybe personal stuff. I even found her Pinterest, and it's kind of funny because now I see where she got that hairstyle from. I came across a lot of different Reddit posts, and again, Miss Froskurinn does not take criticism very well. She doubles down on just about everything. It's like her ego is beyond understanding. She's very proud of her start and where she came from. maybe a little too proud, like of the whole China thing.
You know, everyone has to pay respect to Korea, like you're forced to, but no one was talking about China when they had been such a competitive stronghold in the international scene for so long. And so kind of coming into that, I was like, had a chip on my shoulder before it started, I think.
Because I did see this, and yeah, I don't know if that's real or not, but but that kind of reminds me, let me not forget, there was drama with Saudi Arabia and the casting, and like, you guys can read up on that if you like. But she was considered hypocritical for working with China, who's, you know, China has issues with their Uyghur population, you know, the Muslim community. And
today, a tribunal in London ruled that the country was guilty of genocide in Xinjiang.
And the pressure to be more gruff comes from the top. The government says TV shows will establish the correct aesthetic orientation and resolutely put an end to sissy men and other deformed aesthetics.
I was quite surprised when I saw, a gender slur being introduced into government policy, because in China, this slur has been widely used to attack and insult people who do not conform to the traditional male-female gender norms.
The sissy men image has gained lots of public attention. This perverse aesthetic has created a bad influence and shocked society and left people dissatisfied.
Earlier this year, the Education Ministry increased the number of PE teachers and ramped up gym classes in an effort to boost the masculinity of male students.
if you don't already know about all that, you can research it yourself. This is not the video for that. But for her to protest certain things and kind of forget about other things seemed very hypocritical. And that's something I don't think she even addressed. So it just kind of seems like Froskurinn picks and chooses what she wants to be offended by or what she wants to complain or lecture people about. And it usually has to do with like her.
And that all receive special flame just for being a woman.
So I did want to watch this one gem here.
For me, it's like, can we normalize things that are common sense that should be normal? That's like what I would love to help with.
It's wanting to fix the things that you can see are the problems, but ultimately you're wasting so much time having conversations about convincing people why they're problems. And it's like really painful.
Okay, I see exactly why we're sitting here.
But 2015 was kind of like my big breakout where I finally did get paid. Everyone's always like, what's it like to be a woman in gaming? What is it like to, and you know, at some point you just get tired of answering the same question over and over, and it's like,
no one says that.
You know exactly what it's like to be a woman in gaming because you're asking me the question. So like, why do you
need
my
come
responses?
on.
When people are like, oh, you're a pioneer, you're a trailblazer. I'm like, no, I'm actually just really fucking good at what I do.
Let me just say it out loud, Indiana, you are a trailblazer.
Yeah, so my whole thing is like, my industry is like both and most industries, hyper male dominated. It is bastion of not super nice people sometimes.
For 2022, we'd be a bit nicer.
Like, don't get me wrong, gaming gets a really bad rap. It can be an incredible community.
But she's not a nice person.
But I guess he watched Arcane, the Riot series, and he's like, yo, this is lit. He posted a picture of Jinx. This should be great promotion for Riot Games and League of Legends, right? One of the most famous and richest people on the planet just promoted your game for free because they probably watched it and thought it was dope. Froskurinn took this as the peak irony of Elon Musk picking Jinx, a woman whose childhood was ripped away from her by people being brutalized by capitalistic endeavors that break their bodies and minds for personal gain disguised as progress. And a less popular take, since a lot of people are guilty of it, the overt sexualization and exploitation of a woman abused by the system who displays a lot of childlike qualities and using the dependency for nefarious purposes, like just get a grown-ass goth consenting partner. But what if, hypothetically, he just enjoyed the character in the fictional show? Michaela said, for real, if you took this shit that deeply, I'm gonna block you. Going through every person who liked both this tweet and hers, and I'm blocking. Fuck that shit, go touch grass. Cloud9, what's happening here exactly?
Overall, the team is made up of 3 UK casters, 2 American, 1 Welsh, 1 South African, 1 Belgian, and 1 French. We really need to talk diversity in esports broadcasts because holy ish, that is a lot of white. Just blindingly white. As far as the eye can see, white. And guys, after that statement, a lot of the internet really kind of just blew up over it. So sad and disappointing to see someone of Froskurinn's stature reduce her broadcast to the skin color of the participants. She can be so much better than this, but not as long as bitterness and bigotry governs her heart. I legitimately regret helping and promoting her career, knowing she may now use her influence to prevent talented and hardworking people from accomplishing their dreams on the basis that they have the wrong skin color or genitals for her or were over quota.
Disgusting communities you've ever seen. I'm too polarizing, that I'm too outspoken, that if I just kept my mouth quiet, that I would have been much more successful, that if I didn't let politics get in the way, but I really stand behind everything that I say.
But see, that's where maturity comes in. Because if you take on a job, there's a certain amount of professionalism, which I think we discussed in my previous video, maybe? So like she acts like she's the first girl to ever play video games or something. Like, I get it, you know, you've made some accomplishments as a woman and that's great. I think we all are happy about that. But I don't really see anyone going up to her. At least I can't imagine people really going up to her like, oh, what's it like to be a girl gamer? Or like, come on. There's statistics out there that show that a lot of women actually play video games. And we might not play the same type of games that guys like to play. Like, we have our own interests and favorite types of games, but there's a lot of women that play games. And she's just the number out of the bunch. Now, if you want to argue competitive, okay, sure. Maybe there's not a whole lot. Well, 2015, I mean, no, there were quite a few, I think. And when she speaks on people being like mean or whatever, not so nice, I mean, she's not really the nicest person either. Like, to force your views or to feel the need to lecture people, even back then, you know, the way she would handle things was just not nice.
For 2022, we'd be a bit nicer.
Yeah, this is kind of hard for me to watch, but let's continue.
I fucking hate injustice. I hate it. It enrages me, and it then gets me into a lot of trouble when I work in an industry that
it sure does.
Full of injustices.
When you start to think about accomplishments, it's not necessarily about the awards you receive. I think that my biggest accomplishment was just being authentically me in every space I went into. I remember when I started broadcasting,
Wait,
I'm very unconventional. I wasn't talking when the normal color commentator was
Her biggest accomplishment was what?
Just being authentically me.
Who is this? Okay, I can't. I gotta go. I gotta move on.
Okay, so
oh
that's
my god.
Interesting though, because you would just prefer for people to just, you're a gamer, right? Like, cause it's not like, oh, you're dope for a female gamer. It should just be you're dope for a gamer. So we obviously, you know, there's a lot of synergy.
Don't call guys boy gamers, right? So no need to say girl gamers. It's just gamer.
Wow. I never thought about it that way. Thanks, Hypocrisy. I'll never forget this.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That part was like kind of cringe, and I was just like, as I was saying it, then I was like, ah.
They always talk about, like, you know, if you lowered the rims or if you girls were dunking, and all of other media, all 90+%, 96%, all focuses on men's sports, but then everybody's wondering why women's sports pay is low. Well, how can we get broadcast spots, and how can we get sponsorship dollars if only 4% of y'all are talking about it? Like, it's wild. People...
I don't have the white man thing of I'm just like, who wouldn't want to hear me talk for 3 hours about anything? Like, I'm not allowed to be boring. I have to be twice as good to get half as much respect.
Okay.
You disagree?
I mean, maybe.
Well, how so?
What about half the country that are women that are not listening to those women?
Mm-hmm. That's great. Agree.
That's another video. So yeah, I could keep diving more into Froskurinn, but it's kind of making me a little sleepy, ain't gonna lie. Froskurinn did delete a lot of her tweets recently, probably because of all the backlash she's been receiving. But I mean, again, that's just part of the job. You gotta be able to take criticism, Karen. I think I learned enough for now about Miss Froskurinn, and that kind of explains a little bit of what I was curious about. With the Blair Herter guy and Froskurinn, and oof, it kind of makes sense now. So that's gonna wrap up today's video about Miss Froskurinn and G4. There are some things that I did come across with what's his name? Hokage, the Black Hokage that I was thinking about talking about. We'll see, maybe in the next video. Be sure to comment and let me know what you all thought about this video. Like the last video, I really enjoyed reading you all's comments and it helped me out a lot of what I want to do next. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, you guys.
So please don't question us, say what's best for us. World's already, this is just a test for us. Okay, boomers, you wanna see more? We'll hit our ceiling while you hit the floor. Yeah, fanatic like to spit hot shit from their lips, but they seem to forget their roster slips. Reckless chances, looking gloomy, can't win a title that caps a horny. This is an assassination, no more G2 domination, no more kings, no legacy. Just a bit of you toe to toe with me.